Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Friday, right? I think it's Friday. Is it Friday or is it Thursday? I feel like it's Thursday now that is it Thursday? Who cares? It's good to see everybody. I think we've had quite a day, quite a couple of days. It's Friday. Okay. I knew it was Friday. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for chats are so useful. They're even calendars sometimes. It's amazing. We're gonna go over the Adventures with Purpose video, the video that everyone is discussing. And I'm not going to show, I'm not going to really go over the whole thing. I don't think there's just certain points that I really want to go over. At this point you can watch it. It's perfectly fine. You don't have to be a member to watch it now. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is, oh God, that's so annoying. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share the link in the chat. Okay. All right. That's the link to that video that they did. And yes, it's a very, very emotional video. It's very disturbing. I don't know if I'm going to go over all of it. I kind of want to keep it as just stay on point to the topics that are mostly being discussed. So we're going to go over that stuff, and we're going to go over a couple of other things, which we're going to do our best to have fun here, regardless of the subject matter and how clearly difficult it is. But we're going to do our best to have some fun. Give me 1 second here. Let me get this set up.
If you guys don't know what BetterHelp is, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do, and I actually know a lot of you that have started
an autopsy confirming
specialty search and rescue.
The Nevada County Sheriff Coroner.
The search for Kylie began.
She had a guy with her. She was asking me really weird questions, like in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt?
Now we know we probably have it tied to Boca.
This drop is a big drop.
Now I want to start off.
16-year-old daughter. We need to find her, bring answers to this family.
I want to start off by saying that I think it's fascinating what these guys do. I think it's extremely important what they do. I just question some of their methods as far as PR goes. I question why they do certain things. I question, this is a crime channel, people, sometimes. And so we question everything. And we look into motive, the why of everything. And as much as I like what these guys do, they are not exempt from that. Jessica, thank you for that, and I'm going to go over that stuff actually. So
Tonight, the weeks-long search for missing teenager Kylie Rodney ended just yards from where it began.
Now listen, just yards.
Call the authorities.
And I honestly believe that, of course, clearly, that must have been extremely traumatizing for Nick. I don't see how somebody can get used to that. I just don't see how somebody can get used to that.
Kylie Rodney was last seen August 6, 2022. She was driving a silver 2013 Honda CRV, license plate number 8, Yankee Uniform Romeo 127.
16-year-old Kylie Rodney was last seen at a 300-person end of summer high school party in the Tahoe National Forest that stretched from Friday night into the early morning hours of Saturday. Authorities have conducted search efforts since then, including dive teams that entered Prosser Creek Reservoir on Wednesday, looking near the shoreline for signs of Rodney or her vehicle, but they found no clues to lead them to Rodney's whereabouts. Police said she last spoke with her friends and family shortly after midnight on August 6th, and her phone was
So
turned off.
sad. She was such a pretty girl. And real quick, I just realized I have to do something here because I just got word that now the place I honestly still don't know if you actually call it Placer or Placer County, but that sheriff's department has tweeted. I have to find the tweet here. Did I pass it? Yeah. Okay. So, Placer County Sheriff. It sounds like that to me. Placer Sheriff. Today, an autopsy was conducted on the deceased individual who was found in the Prosser County or the Prosser Reservoir on Sunday, August 21st. The Nevada County Sheriff Coroner had identified the descendant as 16-year-old Kylie Rodney of Truckee. So it has been confirmed after the autopsy has been conducted today. It has been confirmed that it is Placer. Okay. It has been confirmed that that is Kylie that they found. None of us really had any doubt about that. I just wanted to share that the autopsy was conducted today. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry about that. I am so sorry about that. Wow, I feel really stupid right now. I read the totally wrong thing. I read totally the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. Give me a second here. Somebody sent it to me. When Kylie was found in Nevada County, per protocol, the case was transferred to NCSO. This is standard practice. Our condolences are extended to her parents and each one of her family members and friends. So it was a statement. Sorry about that, dude. Jesus. Sometimes I read things and I'm thinking about other things at the same time, not paying attention. It's really bad ADHD, guys. So when that happens, feel free to make as much fun of me as you want. But yeah. So it has been transferred over to another agency. Let's go on with the video.
Was turned off around 12:33 a.m. Law enforcement has expressed frustration at the lack of viable tips and that few of the 200 to 300 people at the party are coming forward with information. So we just got out of Best Buy after picking up some supplies here in Reno, Nevada. We're on our way to work the Kylie Rodney case just down the street in Truckee, California. And Nick, a longtime supporter, fan of ours, appreciate you for coming up to us.
Now, right there, this guy is already a longtime supporter and a fan of theirs. Okay. I mean, that's pretty coincidental, you know? Yes, Nevada County Sheriff's Office is where it was transferred to. So thank you. Right there. It's a fan of ours and a longtime supporter. So right off the bat, there's a bias, okay? Or a possible bias. I shouldn't say there is, but a possible one.
Possibly has some information in regards to the Kylie Rodney case. So why don't you
And these guys are real careful how they word shit, okay? They're real careful how they word stuff. It's really interesting.
A little bit about what you may have run into.
So my name is Nick. I work at an emergency roadside assistance program. I got a call up in Truckee, Boca, for a battery call. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle. At the time, I didn't realize that this was a situation until later on. But
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You said you went to Boca.
yes, sir.
So over near Boca Lake.
Yes, sir.
So not Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Lake.
Let's do something here, folks, real quick. All right, did he say Boca Lake or Boca Reservoir? Okay. All right. All right, so Boca Reservoir. Okay, this is where let me all right. Okay, so that's Boca Reservoir. There's the Boca campground. And let's search for Prosser family campground. So that's a good distance right there, wouldn't you say? That's a good distance. And this is the lake where she was found, right over here. Right? So, I mean, that's not a long distance from the campground, okay? But the other place is quite a distance where he's claiming that he saw them. Let's go there from here. That's a good minute right there, dude, right? Wouldn't you say that? So this is where he's claiming that he helped Kylie and the male companion that she was with at 11 a.m. after the party, at 11 a.m. the next day, the following Saturday after the Friday night party. Okay, so that's a minute. That's a ways. So explain to me how it's likely that Kylie was there at 11 a.m. and then what, did she go back to the party? And then they put her in somebody put her in the lake? The guy that she was with? That's the insinuation here? I mean, am I missing something, folks? Because that's what he's saying. He's saying that he stopped to help them right by the Boca Reservoir, which we saw was it was a good distance, totally out of the way. I mean, is it possible? Sure, it's possible. But I mean, why? If she was found, wouldn't logic dictate? Wouldn't Occam's razor dictate that if she was found at the lake, at the body of water nearest to the campsite where the party was being held, she went straight there from the party, right? I mean, like I said, am I missing something here? Because I don't think I am, which I find this very, very interesting. So right there, you know, I'm not finding this guy being very credible at all.
Creek Lake.
It's right by Crosser Creek.
Yeah, so just north. So you went to Boca.
At first, when I went there, I realized after my test that, everything was working great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that, like, she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. She was asking me really weird questions, like in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And like, okay, and she asked me to show her on how to connect it to.
Now, how is that a weird question? Maybe she's not used to the seatbelt. Maybe there's a malfunction with the seatbelt, and she's saying, "Am I doing something wrong here?" Kind of like I was doing just now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily suspicious, but I don't even think that the person that he spoke to. Now, I'm not going to go and call this guy a liar. I'm not saying he's a liar. The question is, well, what motive does he have to lie? Well, maybe he's not lying. Maybe he's just simply mistaken, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the fact that these guys didn't put that together, but for some reason, because it sounds to me like these guys from Adventures with Purpose just got overzealous to talking to a guy who's like, oh my God, we got a witness, so let's put the witness in the video, right? But I mean, that right there breaks everything. And I want to know why everybody's missing that. I mean, I want to know why nobody is bringing that up. That, okay, she's found, according to them. Now, obviously, it's a mile, 1.3 miles. But, or what did they say? We'll get to that. But they said some weird distance. But the point being, why would they be found at 11 a.m.? Why would they be seen at 11 a.m. with a dead battery when the car was found just a very close distance from where the party took place? And this was all the way in the Boca Reservoir, which is pretty far away, as we saw through Google Earth. So it makes no sense to me. It just doesn't, none of it adds up.
Her actual belt. After that, she was stating on how she was there all night and she couldn't get her vehicle started due to the fact that now we both.
Okay, so she was there all night. All right, right there. She stated that she was there all night at the Boca Reservoir because she couldn't get her car started, right? Wouldn't that mean that she was already there? She couldn't get her car started. She was stuck, and then she got roadside assistance. So according to this guy, the person that he saw was at the Boca Reservoir all night. So how at 11 a.m., you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. And the only reason that I can think that these guys would put this interview on here is for the sake of drama, for the sake of dramatic effect, to add a little bit more to give the video a bit more pizzazz. It's a well-produced video, aside from the facts not adding up, but it's a well-produced video. But I mean, it's totally irresponsible to have that in there, and because now it leads to this.
We both realized it was in neutral. She was wearing a sweatshirt, so it looked like she has been there for quite a while.
What color was the sweatshirt?
It was a gray sweatshirt.
Gray sweatshirt. Was it dark gray or light gray?
It was light gray.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, there was a guy there that was with her at time being. He was wearing black, San Francisco, flat top, ball cap, facing forwards, brown hair.
Now, all of that information, everything this guy is saying is available on the news. It's available everywhere. If you're following this case, everything that this guy is describing is available everywhere. If the insinuation is that person is Jagger that he's describing. And that's definitely the implication here. It's clearly the implication.
sticking out just a little bit on the sides. It was kind of like they were both kind of at unease is what it looked like for me, like as if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day, or there's something going on I couldn't know, and at the time I didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was a thinner.
All right. Christina Skelton of the Sister Skelton podcast. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Now, this is where he gets into
Thinner built, like as if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day, or there's something going on I couldn't know. And
that's not suspicious at all.
At the time, I didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was, a thinner built guy is the best way I could put it, with a bro tank, and it was white bro tank. He had some freckles on his face, like, or maybe it was like acne or whatnot, but it was on both sides of his face. He was also a little bit like shorter than me, so I'm 6'3".
In hindsight, you're realizing all of this. When do you think that this took place? Was it before, during the day, after she disappeared?
To be honest with you, it's either right after she disappeared or right before she disappeared. But it was around noonish, like 11 o'clock in the morning when I got out to her. During that period of time, after the period, I told her that I was going to leave, and I hope you have a great day. Vehicle, I told her to keep it running for a couple of hours.
See, this is just, in my opinion, half-assed. I'll tell you why in a second.
Let's talk about BetterHelp. If you ever feel anxious, depressed, stressed, overwhelmed,
obviously make sure everything is working good on the vehicle, charging system wise. At that point in time, then I left, and then a week later is when I saw at a coffee shop that she was gone.
You saw this on a flyer or something?
Yeah, but then everything spiraled out of control, and I got in contact with the detective and tried to do everything I could, and then I saw you guys.
Now we know we probably have a tie to Boca, which was already on my radar. Do you know who placed the call to your roadside company?
So I can't get details. Calls don't go through me. They go through
dispatch. So you don't have. So when you were digitally dispatched, did you call them to say you were coming, or you just showed up?
I did call, and nothing went through. It went straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did state that her phone was dead, so she used whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
And what was, you mentioned, like, she was asking funny questions and acting weird.
Granted, I at the time I didn't realize again. That
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the towing industry my whole life. So, like,
that's irresponsible right there. Details matter. Okay, details matter, because it says the FBI confirmed Kylie's phone died at 12:33 a.m. They don't know if FBI never said that it died. They said that it stopped pinging. It said that it turned off. She could have turned it off, could have fell in the water, whatever. But I mean, the FBI never said that the phone died at 12:33 a.m. That's just irresponsible wording. I might be nitpicking here. You know what I mean? I might be nitpicking here, but to me, that's, even a responsible YouTuber knows better than that.
She was asking funny questions and acting weird.
Granted, I at the time I didn't realize again. That
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the towing industry my whole life, so you see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of
interesting. So a dude in a bro tank with a blonde-headed girl, in a place where people party all night in California. That's a rare sight, I guess. Okay. I mean, I guess he says that it's a Honda CRV, right? He's confirming that it's the same vehicle. But, I mean, those are pretty common cars too. But I'm not going to focus so much on that, except for mostly I'm just going to focus on the inconsistency of him being at Boca and finding them at Boca, and her saying that she was there all night. At 11 a.m. the following day. It doesn't add up, where her car was found just that short distance from the party.
A lot of weird stuff, and it's actually pretty normal. So I can see why at the time it's just a normal call.
She kept on going over that, like, how do you like, secure your seatbelt firmly and like do it correctly. And that's
when she was asking this, was the guy that she was with right there too?
He was on the opposite side of the car.
So he could hear the conversation as well?
Every single time the guy would come.
Dude, man, kids ask some of the dumbest fucking questions you'll ever hear, dude. You know what I mean? Like how to put on a seatbelt. I told y'all the story about the girl who I was dating that was a little bit younger than me, and she didn't know what a fucking, and this was fucking like 20 years ago, and she didn't know how to work a record player. I got up to take a leak. The record that I had playing had finished. And then I come back from the bathroom and I hear, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I see her just, and then I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I was rewinding it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she's used to driving in a car where nobody makes her wear a seatbelt. Who knows? I mean, who knows? It doesn't necessarily make it such a weird question. Like, kids ask dumb shit all the time.
I would come over to us, she would go on to the other side, and it was just like a back and forth, like a tag team. Better to say, like one person would come over, she wouldn't stay near him, and then it would go vice versa. Or if we were at the front of the car going about the battery and talking about the battery, he was always on one side, she was on another. They were never close to each other.
She was uncomfortable.
So they're supposed to be all lovey-dovey and hanging all over each other while you're looking at their car? All of a sudden that's suspicious because they're not like hanging all over each other?
Yeah, because that screams awkwardness and someone being uncomfortable. And
does it?
And that's the
really?
scenario. If he was there with her, he should have been right next to her. If not, dealing with you the entire time and not her. Did she seem high or intoxicated or?
I thought that maybe she was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
Can you show me on the map where you saw her?
No,
absolutely.
I learned my lesson, sunny days. I learned my lesson. Yeah, older, just destroyed by life women for me from now on.
So we're here in Reno. Let's go down to Truckee. There's Prosser, there's Boca. Just drop a pin on the road exactly where you saw her.
We're at the right place, right? Boca, you come in, you follow this road down. I think that is the turnout right there. Yeah, this is it. And so right there, how she was coming out this way,
so and her front end was facing 894.
Yeah.
All right. And did you leave before her or did she leave before you?
I left before her.
Was there anybody else around?
There was people far back here, yes, but not near her, no.
Did you notice anything in particular in her car at all?
So there were people there.
So
there were people there too. So, okay. Let me watch that again. Let me see.
Right. Boca, you come in, you follow this road down. I think that is the turnout right there. Yeah, this is it. And so right there, how she was coming out this way,
so
and
her front end was facing 894.
Totally irrelevant.
Yeah. All right. And did you leave before her or did she leave before you?
I left before her.
Was there anybody else around?
There was people far back here, yes, but not near her, no.
Did you notice anything in particular in her car at all?
I mean, besides perfume bottles and yeah, actually there was a
Heels in my hair is making a fantastic point. We would have heard that in the press conference. If that was the last place she was seen and this guy reported this to law enforcement, then they would have said they would have been like the last place she was seen was 11 a.m. because they would have confirmed it through the cameras. This guy says that the truck that he uses has cameras in the front and the back and audio. So, I mean, like right there, that just shuts this whole thing down. You know what I mean? Law enforcement would have been like the last place that she was seen confirmed was 11 a.m. You don't think they checked this guy's story out? It was 11 a.m. Saturday. That's not what they said.
There was a perfume bottle that was in the center console, and that was all that I recall, to be honest.
Did she have anything on her keys at all?
I don't remember.
Ladies, type of 1 if you've ever had a perfume bottle in your center console, please.
Did you say that you guys have cameras that could possibly get some sort of facial recognition on?
Yeah, so we do indeed. We have cameras facing front and rear of our vehicles, as well as that we do have like audio, so we can pick up audio from inside and outside of the truck. So we did have that, and I'm guaranteed. I mean, my vehicle is facing directly towards hers, so that's how I normally do it for my protection.
What's the window you're giving us of when this happened?
Either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I believe. Because the weekends I usually cover Truckee, so, and that Friday I also worked in Truckee, so yeah.
If you were to make a bet on what day it was, what would you say?
I mean, when I was looking back under my GPS, under my phone, and where I've been, I was there both Saturday and Sunday, farther into Boca.
Everything you just heard unfolded right here where I'm standing, talking about where Nick described him.
And dude, it means fuck all. Nothing. It means nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Too many reasons why it means absolutely nothing. So at this point, I want to be very, very clear about this, because all of the rumors regarding Jagger are right now, this is the source of that. This little segment in this video, all right, is the core of all the rumors surrounding Jagger being a suspect. Okay? So at this point, I want to officially say that there is absolutely nothing to indicate that Jagger has not been telling the truth regarding where he was, regarding his text messages with Kylie. There's nothing to indicate that this kid was lying. I mean, rewind if you have to. I don't think I could have been any clearer.
Him parking his service van. When he pulled up to give the battery service to Kylie, he parked his van right here, facing that direction. Her vehicle was parked right over here, facing 894.
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since joining the Cashflow 101 system. And so what I wanted to do is make this
that way. We're going outside of what we would normally do because we're normally working cold cases that have hardly had any resources whatsoever applied to them. This case has had over 10,000 man hours over the last 2 weeks placed in at Prosser. I'm confident in what has been done at Prosser. It doesn't mean I'm not going to check it. It just means that I'm not going to start there. We're going to make the most of our time by starting where we know not that much work was put into.
Now,
I'm a firm believer in second chances. However, some things don't deserve forgiveness.
I'm going to play this because I want to be clear. I don't have a problem with what these guys do, and I actually find it very fascinating. So I'm going to play it for educational purposes. I'm just here to debunk all of these ridiculous rumors that this video has seemed to inspire. I mean, that entire segment was totally unnecessary. It was, all it did was stir up shit. That's literally all it did, was just stir up shit on the internet.
Maliciousness does not deserve forgiveness. Cold-blooded, cold-heartedness, taking the life of a 16-year-old deserves zero forgiveness. I have set a radius of 10 miles.
Right there, what that does is that creates an implication that somebody is guilty of a crime, that somebody, it creates the implication that Kylie was murdered. And right there, we don't have any evidence of that. And what that does when you post this stuff on the internet, and it's such a high profile case, that's going to get a whole bunch of people wanting somebody to point a finger at. And right now, there's only two people made available to point a finger at, which is Sammy and which is Jagger. And that's just irresponsible. Both are just kids. Even though they're legally adults, they're still just kids. I mean, it's not fair. You know, I mean, a kid is going to jump in front of a camera for attention. That's just what they're going to do. I don't think that they ever counted on the internet destroying them like this.
Miles around Prosser Creek Reservoir. We're going to work hard to clear Stampede, Independence, Boca, and Prosser Creek, all within that 10-mile range.
Yeah, tomorrow marks 2 weeks since the Truckee teenager disappeared after attending a party at a campground. We are learning tonight that a new group of volunteers are coming from out of state to help find her.
Everybody just wants the same outcome. It doesn't matter who finds her.
40 to 50 feet offshore. You could easily conceal a vehicle right in here.
Doug Bishop.
I remember he said that. Everybody wants the same outcome. It doesn't matter who finds her. Just keep that in mind.
And his team is ready to join the search for missing Truckee teenager Kylie Rodney.
We all have one goal. We all just want to find Kylie. I've just located in the corner of this cove here a target that I cannot identify. We're also talking about a vehicle that is not going to come up the way a vehicle would if it had
That's
been
a good
here
point.
for 10 years. Based on the height, it's not anything.
Let me address this comment. That's actually a good point, Bobby Cash. The internet made them guilty, not AWP. No, I agree with you in the sense that, I mean, people, this is the reality that we live in, folks. I wish we lived in a perfect world where people in mass weren't fucking idiots and weren't people that craved drama. I wish that we lived in a perfect world, but we're not. We're not living in a perfect world. And so as YouTubers who have so much influence, as people that have so much credibility, these guys found Kylie's vehicle and her body. These guys found Kylie's vehicle and her body. So they have all the credibility in the world. The question is, what's the responsible way to handle that? There's a greedy way to handle it, and then there's the responsible way to handle it. And what's funny is the responsible way to handle it goes hand in hand with being the greedy way to handle it too, because they would have made more money and gotten more notoriety and gotten more credit, more recognition, instead of going on every single YouTuber's panel. I mean, come on. Come on. So there's a way to handle this. You see what I'm saying? As a YouTuber. But unfortunately, you know, see, the thing is I'm perfectly aware of the influence that I can have. I understand that. So I'm careful about the things that I say. I don't go blindly throwing accusations out. I don't create a narrative and spin a narrative that somebody might be guilty because they look so suspicious to me. I don't do that, not without hard evidence. I just don't do that. And I don't agree when other channels do it either. And I talk about it all the time. And that's something that these guys are doing. In order to create a dramatic effect to make this video more entertaining, they are spinning a narrative. They're letting you jump to the conclusion. They're wording it carefully, but leading you to a certain place to where you can jump to that conclusion. That's what they're doing with this video.
However, I just want to make sure. The reason that this is suspicious is because you could dump a car down that hill back here in this corner, in this little cove, and no one will see it.
The team coming in just days after authorities announcing they are scaling back the search for Kylie.
We've had over like 9,000 man hours into searching, which is pretty astronomical. Our biggest problem is where do we go and how do we keep sustaining this?
They just want help. They don't care how it gets done. They just want it done. Hey, Nick.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just doing a test to see if a vehicle did go down in here, if they had cell service to call somebody, because we're not far from where she had to call because of the apparently couldn't start the vehicle.
Right.
So, okay, just testing.
All right, buddy.
All right, bye.
So we've cleared the area behind the campground that was just behind where Nick serviced her car, allegedly, the day after she went missing. And we're now coming up along 894 as it heads north up towards Stampede Reservoir. There's a guardrail right there.
However, if a vehicle went off this, you would have evidence of it. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything, but at least we can say we cleared it, and she's not in this lake, or at least her vehicle isn't.
I hope it's an accident.
It's so beautiful out there, dude. Look at that.
Because accidents happen, as tragic as it would be regardless if she's no longer with us. An accident is better than somebody maliciously doing something horrible to her. I mean, you could just imagine the way that would happen in your last moments, knowing that someone is taking it.
People need to quit saying that this is a cold case. It is not a cold case. A cold case is something that law enforcement has stopped putting any man hours into, any resources or man hours into anymore, because they've hit a wall that they just can't get past. That's what a cold case is. This is an active, ongoing investigation. I have no reason to believe that the law enforcement agencies involved in investigating Kylie's death are not doing their due diligence. I have no reason to believe they're not.
Taking your life versus I'm in an accident and it's quick and it's just different. It's a lot different. And I hope that if that's how this has ended, it's an accident versus at the hand of somebody else.
What would you want to say to Kylie tonight?
I love her so much.
But the production of this video says otherwise. See, you can say that with your mouth, right? But the production of this video, for the sake of dramatic effect, implies over and over and over again that this was foul play.
So many people love you. And we're all looking and we're trying so hard. And I'm so sorry we haven't found you yet, but we're not giving up and just hang in there, sweetie. This flight is soon bring you home.
This poor lady, man. I can't imagine what she's going through right now.
Intensifying search for a missing 16-year-old California girl who vanished after a campground party. Police are treating this as a possible abduction.
Investigators believe someone knows something. They're asking anyone with information to come forward.
When you miss a loved one or a friend or a community member and you don't know, that's a nightmare. But I don't want to find her. I want to be able to clear all this water and be able to tell the family she's not here. She's not here.
That was, I think, the area of interest, but it looks like there's no way you could get a vehicle in there.
So,
have you ever wanted to live the van life? Well, Forge 4x4 is giving you that chance. We are giving away.
We're here at one of the ponds.
Let me address this comment here. So Glare, if you're proved wrong, will you publicly apologize to AWP, as they were the ones that found her when Ellie couldn't? They were only doing a job that they are experienced in. I'm not taking away from the fact that they found her. I'm not doing that. What I am saying, though, is even if this is why I will not apologize, because A, I haven't said anything that's merits an apology. I haven't said anything that merits an apology. B, I'm not going to apologize because these guys, no matter what, like, it's 50-50. Either it was an accident or it was foul play. You know, like, you could win that on a coin toss. The bottom line is these guys are not qualified to say whether or not this was foul play. That's my point. So no, I will not apologize for saying the things that I have said and gone over the things that I've gone over.
Ponds behind the shopping center, and as we can tell, there's not hardly any access whatsoever for a vehicle, plus it is extremely shallow. We're here, the ground is a lot harder, so the tire tracks are a lot harder to see. However, we can see tire tracks clear as day. You got a tire track right here. Look at this. See that? Those are tire tracks. We also have, equipment there, trucks during the day, probably workers. But whether or not we can see tire tracks, it doesn't matter, because I can see out at least more than 100 feet. You can clearly see the growth. And the pattern in the growth, the vegetation, nothing's been changed. If a car would go in, there'd be a path, and a car's not gonna go that far out right here. There's no path.
I
There's
agree
nothing.
with you. I agree with you. But what I'm saying is it's not relevant. So either these guys thought it was relevant and still put that segment in there irresponsibly, or they know it's not relevant, but had to also know that this was going to create some sort of stir on the internet, pointing fingers at Jagger, a kid. They had to know that. Either way, they had to know that. I mean, these are grown men, and you hear the way they talk throughout this and the way that they handle this. When we get to the point where they actually find the car and realize that it's a car, this guy says some very responsible things, but his actions, the video, his existence is contradictory to those words that he was saying at that point. We haven't gotten there yet, but we will. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying it's not, these guys should know better. And they do know better, because the way that they talk tells me that they know better.
Nothing cut. You could launch a car off here, though. It's just, you're not going to hide it right there. Saturday, August 20th, we're at Donner Lake, Truckee, California. We can see a lot of visibility. I can see the bottom. I still can see the bottom. Wow. No, we can't see it on drone. So right here where it stops, it drops off significantly. So if it were to come in here, it's going to make it, this drop is a big drop. So it's going to keep, if it went in here, it's going to keep going. We're not going to be able to see it.
Although the team could not say specifically what brought them out here to Donner Lake, they are concentrating.
See, that's a good point, heels in my hair. But regardless, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's created a ridiculous frenzy of finger pointing towards Jagger, which is completely unfounded. Regardless.
Trading on the boat launch and the area surrounding it.
Four feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 16, 17, 19, 22 feet, 26, 30, 42 feet, 50
See,
feet.
I find this fascinating.
It gets deep quick.
It does get very deep. 75 feet, 80 feet already. 93 feet, 105 feet. I'm going to change my scanning to 100 feet either way to compensate.
Like if you watch those shows, you know what I mean? Like if you watch those shows on Discovery Channel, like, the Fisherman or whatever, Deadliest Catch, all that stuff. You're going to find what these guys do very interesting. You know what I mean? Like these guys basically have their own independent YouTube channel that is basically like their own version of a reality show where they show what they do. So, and what they do is absolutely fascinating. I will not take that away from them.
Compensate for the depth. 117 feet deep right here. 142 feet. Do some vertical in and out patterns.
Sure.
117 feet deep right here. 142 feet. Coming down the side here at 41 feet. So if we are considering foul play, would you do this right across the street from the fire department?
Now, as to be fair, he said, we are considering foul play. Very careful in how they word things. They're planting the seed of foul play. But the thing is, dude, you're not qualified to decide whether it's foul play or not. You don't get to do that. I've got words. Thank you. This puts his mental health safety at risk now. It sure does. Sure does. It's still a kid, you know? But I mean, like it's for the sake of dramatic effect, they keep that foul play thing going, you know, in my opinion.
In a panic scenario, and you only know the areas that you're familiar with, you don't know people do weird stuff when they're in a panic.
Looking for a fresh car is really hard to see. That's why I'm just being real.
Right, I gotcha. What is that? Huh. Rocks? How's it still under there? Must just be rocks.
You're missing my point.
A layer of them or something?
You guys are arguing semantics with me. You know, you're saying, listen, if we're considering foul play. The point is that he put foul play in there. He planted the seed. He keeps putting that seed of foul play to get your brains going. And when you start thinking about foul play, what do? You start thinking about the case, because everybody here wants to be a sleuth. So then you start thinking, well, who's a suspect? And then you start finger pointing. That's my point. That's why that's irresponsible. These guys are not qualified to consider what's foul play or not.
I don't think it will roll that far, man.
Especially because there were rocks. I know that there'd be air in it and it would come up, but
it just depends on how buoyant it was.
There's no way. Once it gets, it's not 50 yards maximum. Go one more time over by that corner. Yeah, there's a little spot at the end they could have gone off. See that doesn't have a curb.
Honey's giving away $10,000 that you could use on
I
Emma's
completely
Ultimate
agree,
NYC
Mike.
giveaway. If I had
Totally agree, Mike.
If you look over here, you can see there's no guardrail or anything on this road. So we're just going to scan the whole lake right here, make sure it's clear, because a vehicle could easily, whether it's accident or on purpose, go off the road into the lake. It drops off pretty steep. We're at 31 feet out here. So that's why we're going to clear it.
God, it's gorgeous out there, man. It's literally my favorite place
Lake's
on the
clear.
planet.
It's super shallow around the edges, other than right here, but you can see the bottom for almost 100, 150 feet off the shoreline. And there was only a few places where a car could even make it in there. We went even above and beyond that. So I'm 100% confident that the vehicle is not in this lake.
We have now cleared 5 miles of shoreline on all 3 boat ramps here on Donner Lake.
And you know, we still have questions and not a ton of answers. So maybe one of you, I know somebody out there has answers. If you or somebody...
Yo, I gotta say though, homie's beard game is on point. See, I can never grow a beard like that, bro. Like, after a certain point, I mean, I could shampoo it all day. Just something about it just feels dirty, and I can never let my beard grow that long. It's just something that bothers me. But man, like the patience to grow out a beard like that and keep it groomed so smooth. Good on you, bro.
Somebody you know thinks you might know something that happened that day or that night. You need to come forward. You need to step up, call the authorities, talk to somebody, and get the information out there. There's a 16-year-old daughter missing. A mother is missing her 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, the ladies these days, man, they love the beard, bro. You all love that shit. I don't know what it is. Like, y'all go crazy over the long beards, dude.
Need to find her, bring answers to this family.
The team specializing in cracking cold cases free of charge, and they came from miles away to help solve her mysterious disappearance, now 2 weeks after she went missing.
Day 2 in our search for Kylie Rodney We're beginning right here at Ground Zero, Prosser Family Recreation Site, where Kylie, 16-year-old Kylie, disappeared from, according to law enforcement, this was her last known location. Yesterday, we based our search off of a tip that we deemed credible. We took that, we dissected it, and determined that we should start in a different area. Those areas were within our 10-mile radius. We were able to rule them out, and that's what brings us back to square one here at Prosser Family Campground.
Kylie and her family are from the local area here in Truckee, California. And everywhere we have gone along this search, we have seen these posters absolutely everywhere. It's great to see a community come together in support for this family in need. And it's also because of a community like you that we are able to do what we do. So please, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, and watch these videos. We really appreciate everything you do for us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, a lot of questions, as you did mention there, and a big one is this dive team was able to find her. They went out there this weekend, found her pretty quickly. While
Sunny days.
Searched that area.
Sunny
and
days.
Found her. Have they responded to say, I guess, why that is?
Pushes out. Time is 10:41. We are now on Prosser Creek Reservoir.
I mean, that music, though.
This is, according to law enforcement, Kylie's last known location.
All right, so this is going to
looking
get
for a silver vehicle. Her Honda CRV is silver in color.
This is where they find the vehicle, obviously, because they're at the Prosser Lake. So this is going to get pretty difficult, guys. So just fair warning.
Helicopters have stated that they could see the bottom of this reservoir. We've had multiple different extreme levels of sonar utilized by different sonar teams in this reservoir. I'm confident in what they've done. However, and not to sound cocky, but if we haven't searched it, it hasn't been searched. That's our motto, so that we stay efficient and protect the integrity of everything we do as we're working for families and law enforcement. So I'm there.
Now, I didn't take that as being cocky. I understood exactly what he meant. In order to ensure being thorough, that's their motto. That's what they tell themselves. If it hasn't been searched until they do it. You see what I'm saying? It has not been searched until they get in there. That's basically like, all right, we are the fail-safe. This is what we do. So I totally understand his wording of that. I don't want to come off like, I don't want people being like, but you are cocky. He's actually, that's not a cocky thing to say. That's just a way to amp your team up and make sure that they do a thorough job.
I'm theorizing that the bottom of this reservoir is a similar color to silver. Could it have not been seen? Absolutely. Could the car be in here? According to law enforcement, like I said, we are at her last known location. They said her cell phone stopped pinging right here at 12:33 a.m. on August 6th. Today, we're going to be putting myself and Nick 2 boats in. For one, it's going to be great training for Nick. As you guys know, we're training Nick to be a team lead for our second team. So not only is 2 boats better than 1, but we're also utilizing my ability to put Nick out in front of me so I can see what he's seeing, see what he misses, see if he catches anything and so forth. Great training opportunity. And speaking with the Placer County Sheriff's Department, they did advise me that it got down to about 55 feet deep. And right now we are at 45 feet, reading on live scope. Real consistent 45 feet here.
Vernon Central High School, how may I help you? I'm calling to help you, actually. Really?
This just got sent to me. I cannot name who did, but it says.
Now, this bugs me.
The Truckee Facebook missing persons groups are on fire with speculation about what happened to Kylie. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation. It may be real clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus, fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights, some disturbing behavior between Kylie and a girl named minutes before the party suddenly breaking up. And then cars started flying out of the parking lot. Something bad happened and all the kids' parents told them not to get involved. You may want to keep in mind that there's a possibility of what happened to Kylie could be more sinister, and there was a panic. I knew.
See what I'm saying? Like, at what point was there like a tip from that person? What was the point of reading that out loud other than dramatic effect for the video and stirring shit up? You know what I mean? Like, what was the point of that? Because unless he's like, okay, well, I just got a tip that the car is possibly in a nearby body of water. Okay, I get that. Sure, their job is to find the car, but I don't see how her getting into a fight and something being sinister being the, you know what I mean? Like, what purpose did that serve other than just adding dramatic effect to this video?
You know, I feel the same way. A kid goes missing after attending a party of 200 to 300 people. There's always, most likely, something that happened at that party. Someone knows something. Someone possibly did something.
That's not necessarily true. I've been to plenty of big parties where they were completely uneventful in the sense that everybody was fine. Nothing happened. No fights broke out. Nothing. Everybody just had a good time, then went home. I've been to plenty of parties like that.
He did something. It's an accurate and fair assessment to make. Not only one person knows, but multiple people know.
How is it an accurate assessment to make? It's a fair assessment, somewhat, but it's not an accurate one. Accurate means that I assess this and this is what it is. Something happened at that party and somebody's covering it up. Multiple people know. That's not an accurate assessment. That's a theory. That's speculation.
Boat ramp over here is in our target area as well. This entire reservoir, but we have another boat ramp right here. You can see the cars, how they pull down right to the water all the way over here. So if something bad happens, you could put a car in here anywhere. We are on the side where the party was here at the campground. So if we're gonna find the vehicle, I would fully expect to find it right where we are right now. Really shallow, man. It's only 2 feet.
Hey, does this lake get pretty dry at the end of the summer?
This is probably the driest it's been in a long time.
Really? Okay.
All
There's
right.
some
Let
weird.
me be fair and
Let me see
address this
camera.
comment.
We'll go by it.
I want to be fair and address this comment. So Vera Gazi, she says, "Oh my God, Glare, I can't. I love watching your videos usually, but right now I do not understand what your point is here. I don't get about their video style and editing. Why the confusion?" My point is that there's a lot of really irresponsible speculation and finger pointing going on, and this helped facilitate it vastly. That's my point, is there's finger pointing going on towards young adults, but to me, they're still kids who are probably going through a really hard time and miss their friend real bad. You know, I have to assume that unless I have hard evidence that makes me say otherwise. I just have to assume that. So that's my point of this video, which is usually my point on almost every live I do. So, I mean, I don't know why, for some reason, this is different for you, but it's literally the same thing I always do.
Go by it a couple times. There's something creating a big shadow right there. So we're gonna go. It's right off this point. How if they scanned it? How would they miss that? So I'm assuming it's nothing because they did have dive teams, but I don't want to be the guy that just says, "Oh, it's nothing," because it doesn't look like a car.
Hey, Doug, Devin over here. We may have something. It's hard to tell.
Live scope doesn't work, so it's hard to verify, but we're definitely getting a solid cache shadow.
Where are you at?
And it's to, I sent the coordinates to Carson, but we're on the, shoot, is this the eastern part of the shore? I know. We're by the other boat ramp, not the one that you guys went towards, but the one at the top of the lake.
So we're gonna head over here to the other side of the reservoir where
I'll say it one more time. They're not qualified to look at it from a 50-50 situation. See, their credibility as people who actually found her and her vehicle, for some reason, to the public, they automatically, because people en masse just don't think, and people automatically give these guys the credibility and qualification to be able to assess foul play or not foul play when they're not qualified to do that. And when people think that they are qualified to do it and they continue to do it, then finger pointing happens. I'm not saying they're pointing fingers. I'm saying based on what they're doing, finger pointing has been happening, and it's baseless. It's absolutely baseless.
there are lots of drive lanes down to the water's edge where people have cookouts, get-togethers, parties, family gatherings. This is a prime location where Kylie's vehicle could have made it into the reservoir.
Setting up our Squarespace online store was
And this is going to be a pretty long live, guys, because I got more stuff to go over here after this. So get comfortable.
Is that what you just saw?
Yeah. So it's just a big shadow there. You see that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though. It's only 10 feet of water. We definitely have something man-made. Big.
It's probably nothing, but it was a big shadow.
It's something.
Isn't that weird? I mean, it's just...
I wish I knew how to read that stuff because I don't really understand what they're showing there.
Big.
It's interesting. I just don't get it. That's just because I don't do what they do. So I don't really understand how to read that exactly.
Thing directly under us right now. What is that, Carson? Is that a boat? Or is that an SUV? Whatever it is, it has build-up on it. Could be a car. More in the shape of a boat. And I'm seeing similarities that show build-up, which we shouldn't have build-up on this car. It's only been 2 weeks.
It looked like an upside-down sunken boat.
Possibly. Could be a boat. It's something, though.
Yeah, canine rescue. There's a lot I don't understand. You're right. Like, for instance, why the fuck you're even in here?
I believe it's a car. And I have to be quiet because I don't want to alarm the entire campground right now. This is an ongoing investigation. Man, we're getting some funny imaging on this, which is indicative of a newer vehicle. There it is. See that? What is that? That's a wheel. See the wheel? Is it a wheel? Is it a boat? Looks like a wheel, man.
Ladies and gentlemen of Glare International Airport, Canine Rescue will be departing. Canine Rescue will be departing shortly. Thank you so much. And have a safe flight.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a wheel. That's a wheel, dude. We have a wheel. it is. Got it. Got it. We got a car. We got a car. So trying to pull myself directly over it. Look at that. It's not giving a good reading, but there's a wheel. You see it?
Because I'm wrecking their dreams, Mike M. Let me explain that. Mike M, thanks for that too, by the way. You're saying, I can't believe how people are crapping on you when you're just showing good morals to the situation. It's because I'm wrecking their dreams. I'll explain why. Because these are people who are so thirsty for drama that the need to find out that a juicier situation such as foul play, that she was murdered and God knows what else happened to her, is much more important to them than a family's peace of mind who just lost their child, as if the child is upchurched, never existed, right? You know, as if just some fictitious thing, right? Because they're mad at me because I'm wrecking their dreams for that by making sense.
We need to figure out how to get our RV over here. You guys put us in this position. Everybody that supports us, y'all put us in this position. We wouldn't be able to afford to do this if it wasn't for you.
This guy's already accepting awards, bro. I'd like to thank all of you guys. Before he even gets down there and identifies the vehicle.
Let's assess our situation. 18 different agencies. Over 19,000 man hours have been put in.
This is a straight flex right here. Straight flex.
Put into this.
All of this was done, and we came out here and saved the day. All of this man hours, all of these, look, 60 personnel assigned, personnel hours, 19,902. But we are the ones that came out here. The timing of this before they actually pull the vehicle up and place this in the documentary is perfect.
Not a zero vehicle was found in this reservoir. That is giving me a really weird reading. It looks just like a car. It looks just like an SUV. And it looks like it's giving me some misreadings the way a newer car would. So amazing scan. Great job, man. Great job scanning that. We need to do this as quietly as possible.
You were able to get a magnet on
Oh yeah, and it's slipping. It's slipping on some of the vehicle the way a newer car would, and actually, no, it's not getting a. It's smooth. I can tell that it's smooth. Is it a boat? It absolutely could be a boat, but I doubt it, man.
Most boats are.
Yeah.
Like
Right. No one at camp can know what we're doing. Everybody's phones need to be turned off.
Common sense. Don't invest too much in what I'm saying here, because I didn't even know what day it was. And I read a tweet from days ago.
If you have a phone, you need to turn your phone off right now. The last thing that we want to do is cause alarm to the family and or the local law enforcement. If this is a car and it's
why
not,
does everybody got to turn their phone off though? You know what I'm saying? Like, can't you just be like, yo, like, do you not trust your crewmates? You not trust your team to just not be shitheads and start tweeting and shit.
And it's not the car we're looking for, I want to be able to do that peacefully. I don't want to cause a turmoil. If anybody knows that we found a car right now, it's gonna be unnecessary. It's gonna be unnecessary trauma for the family. We need to go back to the ramp and cause as little. We found nothing. We're just moving locations. That's all.
Okay.
All right. If this is her, you know, this means all hope is lost as far as her still being out there,
right,
and her showing up, her being found safe. This is devastating. This is as devastating as it gets. You know, it's different when we're finding somebody who's been missing for 20 and 30 years.
right.
This child, you know, 16-year-old, same age as my daughter. She's only been missing for 2 weeks. Literally, the campground is right up over the hill. Right over the hill. This car is 3/10 of a mile from the campground she was at.
Curious AF, that's a good question. Because I was thinking the same thing when he was just like, everybody turn their phones off, right? But I don't know. I need an actual timestamp of when they posted that Facebook post. And the times of when the car was spotted and when it was pulled up. So I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Hi, I'm Rue. I would love to present you with a.
That music though, man.
This is absolutely a crime scene. It's an active investigation. Our job is to be here to find the where, which we have done. Now we need to assess it appropriately. Full assessment, condition of the vehicle, windows up or down. Do not remove license plate like we normally do.
Copy that. I'm going to start my descent.
Yeah, you could see the car, you could see the license plate, but this is all I hope Upchurch is listening, because dude, yeah, this is clearly all part of the show. According to Ryan Upchurch, he said, show me proof that the car exists. Well, there it is. We're looking at it right now.
License plate. We have just found Kylie's vehicle. Over.
That is clearly the license plate.
10-4. Do a full assessment, methodically, slowly. Make sure you focus on footage of the vehicle so that we can accurately relay that to the authorities.
The vehicle is upside down. I repeat, it is upside down.
That is clearly the vehicle.
Working my way around towards the driver's side. Over.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
He totally did. He totally did.
Trying to get a look inside.
There's no way to see that, man. Yeah, trigger warning, guys. This is difficult. But there's no way to, there's too much speculation going on whether she was clothed, if she wasn't clothed.
positively identify anybody inside yet. I'm looking in the back now.
10-4. Take your time. Be safe.
Well, I get what you're saying, but just the mere dramatics of, and I don't mean that to say that in a jab, like, I mean, this is a very dramatic situation. The fact that they're finding a young girl deceased in a vehicle who has been missing for 2 weeks and everybody's been talking about it. A lot of people are just very emotionally invested in this, and so this could absolutely trigger, and you don't know what kind of past they've had, you don't know what kind of experiences they've had in their life. So that's why we give those warnings out, because you just don't know how this type of situation and this seeing this happen is going to affect you, or going to affect somebody. So we want to try to be mindful of everybody's feelings here if we can.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
Hold on, let me.
There are human remains in the vehicle. Over.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to rewind this. Because he says something here. Oh, wait. No, I didn't go far enough. Sorry.
Side, over.
Cool. So that we can accurately.
Right. We're going to watch this whole part again, because I don't want to miss anything here.
The vehicle is upside down. I repeat, it is upside down. I'm at the rear of the vehicle now, working my way around towards the driver's side. Over.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
I'm approaching the driver's side window, trying to get a look inside. Cannot positively identify anybody inside yet. I'm looking in the back now.
10-4. Take your time. Be safe.
I see a pair of shoes in the back, in the way towards the back window.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
I just confirm there are human remains in the vehicle. Over.
10-4.
The passenger window is broken out, it appears.
Okay, now he did say passenger window is broken out, it appears. I want to be fair, but it's still pretty inconsistent with what they say later. But here you hear him clearly say the passenger window has been broken out.
Rear driver's side window is halfway down.
Copy that. Rear driver's side window is down.
Find the line and turn top side.
This poor guy, man.
Yep.
That's tough.
That's what we do it for, brother. Good job. Good job. It's positive, you know?
What's up, Ick and Mel?
All right.
Good to see you, man.
She's in the back of the vehicle.
God, man, that's got to be tough, dude. That's got to be so tough.
She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Vehicle's upside down. Some of the one window is halfway down.
See, and that's another thing. See, that gets so... I'm not going to say that that was irresponsible of him to say, because he's clearly just shocked by what he just saw. I don't think anybody could ever get used to that. So for him to say that looks suspicious to me because she's in the back of the vehicle, that's a hell of a scary sight to see. And that could have just simply been a reaction. So people investing too much in that, you know what I mean? You know, but I'm not going to say that that's part of why I think some of this video is irresponsible. I just think that that was a genuine reaction coming from him. Because honestly, if I'm diving in the water and I'm not law enforcement and I haven't totally assessed the entire situation professionally, you know what I'm saying? And I see a girl who's been missing for 2 weeks in the back of the SUV, I'm going to be like, that looks suspicious. That absolutely looks suspicious. Before you have time to think about it, before you have time to break everything down, you know, that's absolutely suspicious. Of course that looks suspicious. To a person in his position right now, absolutely.
One window is all the way down. Call the authorities.
We help families all across the nation, and when we find out, they are notified first. So we're going to notify them first. My very next call will be to local authorities.
Why is this guy plugging himself, bro?
Right there with the red thing?
Yes, sir.
How in the could they have missed it? That's impossible.
And in our investigation coming into this, this is just what we do. We find vehicles underwater. We specialize in it.
Thank you.
I don't know what you guys know, and you know, we don't always know the why. We just try to find the where, and that's why I can't relate with whatever you're speaking on right now.
Down?
The car is upside down, but that's common when a car goes into water because the wheels make it buoyant.
And the windows are closed, probably.
All of the windows except for one. Yes.
One's halfway down. Which one? One's all the way down.
So Nick is my diver.
Which one?
All right. So Nick just said that the window was all the way down. The one was halfway down. That would be the driver's side. The driver's side rear window was halfway down. But before, while he was in the water assessing it, he said that it appeared to be broken out. The driver's side or the passenger side window appeared to be broken out. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that.
Up or down?
The what was it?
Driver rear.
Driver rear was down, and the passenger rear was halfway.
Is she seatbelted in?
No.
Is she in the driver's seat?
No.
She's not.
No.
She's
in the back?
She's in the back.
Yes.
I would recommend. It's your daughter. This your daughter. Do what you want to do. I would recommend this is not a part of that. This. Yeah.
It's going to be my last memory.
I'm Doug. Who are you with? Who are you with?
Detective with Nevada County. Yes.
Okay.
I want to be able to confirm everything that.
Yeah, behind me, the buoy under. We see the buoy behind me. 14 feet under the buoy is her vehicle. My diver was able to identify there are remains in the back.
So sad, man. Jesus.
The specialty search and rescue team, Adventures with Purpose,
No.
say that they have located the body and vehicle of the missing teen. They say they found Rodney inside her car, which is in just 14 feet of water. The team says they've notified family and law enforcement. Placer County Sheriff's Office will now be taking over the investigation.
She was last seen around midnight at a high school graduation party with more than 100 people. Kylie had texted her mother that night, telling her she would be leaving the party in about 45 minutes, and her mom texted her to be safe and told her she loved her. She said her daughter texted, "Okay, Mom, I love you too." Kylie's silver Honda SUV had never been found until reportedly today.
So heartbreaking.
We believe out of the 200 to 300 juveniles and young adults who were at that party, somebody must know something.
I could use your skills to investigate Sinclair's right. Even I can't look the other way when I see what's done.
Albion Online is a sandbox
That's actually a good show.
MMORPG in which you write your own.
Kind of tacky to place an ad right there, though. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to be nitpicking too much, but
This just into our newsroom. The Nevada County Sheriff Coroner has confirmed the body found in the car that was pulled from Prosser Lake over the weekend is that of missing Truckee teen Kylie Rodney.
She just graduated high school at 16 with high honors. She's so intelligent and beautiful and just such a kind and wonderful person.
can you imagine that? She has every reason for her parents to be so proud of her. So proud of her.
We just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kylie, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home.
Oh my God.
I want nothing more than to hug you.
I'm gonna let the credits roll. You know what I mean? Like, it's a well done video. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let the credits roll. Okay, so very, very sad. Very sad. One second. What is happening right? Oh, that's what. Sorry, I was still hearing noise through my earbuds. Yeah, it's very, very sad. Oh God, don't even get me started on BHB heels. Now, I feel like the stuff that I pointed out regarding that video, like, is absolutely valid. I don't, based on everything that I pointed out, um, all of the inconsistencies in the tow truck driver's account of things. I believe that, as far as the public knows, as far as evidence that we have been made aware of, I think it absolutely clears Jagger. I think it absolutely clears him. I'm not saying that he's. I think he's innocent. You know what I mean? So I think the finger pointing towards Jagger, I think, needs to stop until we at least know more. But based on everything that we know, I don't have absolutely no reason to think that this kid is guilty of any crime. So I really wish that would just stop. Honestly, I think it's really irresponsible. He's just a kid. He's got the whole world ahead of him. I mean, possibilities are endless. This isn't fair until there's evidence against him. And we're not aware of whether or not there is evidence against him. But as far as what we know, there is none. There's absolutely none. Now, I'm going to play you something else. This is from a couple of years ago. This is another case that Adventures with Purpose worked. And it's clipped here, so or at least it's a woman went missing named Natalie Jones. She was a mother, went missing out of Alabama, and then she was found in Georgia about a month later, I think it was. So we're going to go ahead and play this real quick.
Yeah. Natalie's in the car. The other thing, is it okay if we...
So the situation here is that the car was found. Her car, she had a hot pink Chevy Cavalier, and her car was found. And apparently these guys were looking for her. Now, these guys look in the water, as far as I know. But
I know you're.
Yeah, we'll give you as much space as you need.
Her car was found. Her car was found in a very, very wooded area.
Natalie too, or just the car?
Yeah. Natalie's in the car. The other thing, is it okay if we... Are you still... I know you're.
Yeah, we'll
eating.
give you as much space as you need. Natalie too, or just the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Natalie's in the car. The other thing, is it okay if we... Are you still... I know you're.
Yeah, we'll
eating.
give you as much space as you need. Natalie too.
Okay, hold on. So this is clipped. So give me 1 second and I will pull up something else here. Now, because Because I remember this having more. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Now we're talking. 1 second. Now this isn't them making a documentary video. This is them live streaming from where they found this girl, this missing lady. Okay. This is them live streaming. So right now what they're doing is just they're streaming the reaction, and the mother of the victim is sitting there.
In the car. The other thing, is it okay if we are you still I know you're
Yeah, we'll
eating.
give you as much space as you need. Yeah, just give us. Yeah.
So here's what has been reported is that it has been confirmed, correct me if I'm wrong, that it has been confirmed that we have Natalie, we have the pink car. In addition to that, it has also been confirmed that this car was not here this morning.
That's right.
Listen very careful to that. He's telling the mother of the victim that it has been confirmed that that car was not there that morning.
So us being here definitely flushed it out.
Yeah.
Do that.
So them being there flushed it out. They didn't find the car, but they're doing everything that they can right now to take credit for finding the car. It's very, very interesting.
It's the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Yo, that's wild, bro.
I wish y'all could have came a long time ago.
Yo, that's wild, bro. Right in front of the victim's mom. Real professional.
Today's the 5th.
90. Today's the 6th.
So it's been 3 months and 1 day.
3.
And not a word, not even nothing.
3.
Having the investigator to hang up on me.
So they have they evidently they've allowed the reporters here. They've told them where they can stand.
I'm getting
right
there.
there in front of the other police car. So
let's go be reporters.
We're gonna go hang out with the reporters up there. We're gonna let you enjoy the cracker there, and
enjoy.
When you're ready to come up, they're not gonna kick you out of here.
Enjoy. Okay. Like, that lady did not want to be hugged, bro. That was a little pushy.
All right, we'll be right back, okay? Come up if you can, okay?
Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to read too much into that as far as like being tacky or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, if I'm in that position and a woman's child's body was just found after she's been missing, I'm not going to initiate the hug. I'm not doing that. I'll if she wants to hug me, I'll let her hug me, and and I'm still going to feel kind of uncomfortable because I'm not going to know how to comfort her. You know what I mean? I'm going to be like, I don't know what, but okay. Yeah, sure. If it makes you feel better, sure. Of course. Give me a hug and I'll hug you as long as you need me to, but I'm not going to initiate the hug. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's just me, dude. I'm not going to do that.
Whoa.
Hey, y'all, real quick. Y'all are already subscribed to Ick and Mel. But if you're not subscribed to Ick and Mel, subscribe to Ick and Mel, please. But also subscribe to Burn After Reading. Burn After Reading is doing some good work. I've really been enjoying that content. No problem, bud.
Yeah, the mom's here, but she wants some space.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I
give her a little time.
understand. Okay, no, that's fine.
You're Denise?
No, I'm Jenna Eden with the Grange Daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so what's the motive there? Now, are they really trying to respect the mom's space? Because I didn't see a display of wanting to respect her space. I didn't see that at all. It seemed to me. Now, again, I'm just, what I just saw, I didn't like, especially the fact that they just gave her some really false information that I'm going to get to in a minute. But that information that they gave that mom was absolutely false. Absolutely false. And all of that stuff makes me feel like they're just trying to keep this moment for themselves and cheat the reporter out of being able to go over there. Again, another pissing contest for exclusivity. I just think, and I wouldn't jump to that conclusion if it wasn't already these other factors that are bothering me. You know what I mean?
You guys are Grange Daily?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, real cool. Yeah, give her a little time.
No, I completely understand. And then obviously they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
Here's Mom. What I can tell you right now, Mom has confirmed 100%. Mom has spoken with the sheriff.
Right.
Also, what has also been relayed, the car was not there this morning.
Okay, you win handle of the day. Las mujeres no tienen polas. And yeah, I agree with you. Come near my bubble and you might get hurt. That's basically the message here.
Okay. Mom's confirmed that Natalie
in the car.
Okay.
Yep. So Natalie's in the car. Car's there. Car was not there this morning.
Okay.
And now Sam's freaking out.
I'm just in shock, dude.
Hitman is coming for you.
They don't get Hitman coming for me. At least not for this. That's crazy.
Did they pull you away from the crime scene tape, or did they tell you had to stay on the other side of the road? What did they tell you?
They just said we had to stay on the other side of the road because the traffic was slowing down.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We'll join you guys on the other side of the road because they did only allow us that far when we first started. So they have not been very pleased that we were actually here in town recording and doing what we're doing.
No, I understand.
So, and you're going to be being on live because
Yeah.
you're already
No,
on
you're
live.
fine.
So
Yeah, you're fine.
say hi to several thousand people right now.
LaGrange News.
The Grange News. So
Yeah,
big thumbs up.
Totally
following
inappropriate.
This case very closely, so
Yeah.
at least the family will
Totally
find
inappropriate.
answers.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is the most important part.
Yeah.
Definitely praying for the mom right now.
All right, I'm going to move up here. If you want to hang out with Mom and
I'll hang with
hang with Mom. I'll go take care of this right now. I'll bring everybody up here for a little bit.
All right. Now, I'm not going to stick with that, but you heard this guy say, you heard him clearly say that it was confirmed that the vehicle was there, that was not there this morning, right? He absolutely said that. Let me show you guys a little something here real quick. Same case, by the way, guys. So these guys are pushing the foul play narrative for that. These guys are pushing the foul play narrative for that. Let me see. I thought there was a news clip. I guess there's not. I'll just have to read it. A grieving mother received a knock at her door that has changed the trajectory of her life forever. I have these two precious grandboys. You know, that's all I got left in this world. I don't know. I just dread them hearing about their mom. Elaine Gordon, Natalie Jones's mother, said. According to the Heard County Sheriff's Office, they received a phone call around 4:30 p.m. from a landowner saying they found a hot pink car. Authorities say when they arrived at the location, it was indeed Natalie Jones's car. No one had seen or heard from Jones in more than 3 months. Sorry, it had been 3 months. I apologize for that misinformation. Get out of here. There was speculation that the guy that was doing the clearing said the car was not there yesterday morning when he got back home yesterday evening the car was there. That's not true at all, said Sheriff Ross Henry. The car was clearly there. The vegetation that had grown up around the car, you can tell that weeds had grown through the wheels and the bumper. It's clearly been there a long time. Sheriff Henry said they located a cell phone inside of the car and the unidentified body was in the front seat. He said at this time, you don't suspect any foul play, that they don't suspect any foul play. Now, it's been 3 months now, and we've just, thankfully that we found her, we were hoping for a better outcome, and of course, that's not the case, Sheriff Henry said, and now we just need to pray and support the family and try to find out answers as to what happened to Natalie. Yeah. Drink that in for a second. Because here these guys are telling a reporter, hey, she needs her space, back up. You know, she needs her space. While they were live streaming with the camera on her, forcing a hug on her, after saying that it was confirmed that the car was not there this morning and it was clearly some sort of foul play. Now, anybody think that I'm being unfair to these guys? Seriously? Guys, I don't do this stuff without sharing facts. I just don't. I mean, it's just disappointing. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit that their channel makes money. I don't care about that. That's great. Good for them. I don't give a shit that they drive around in a huge, massive hotel of an RV with a trailer behind it with all their equipment. For doing what they do, they should live comfortably. They should travel comfortably. I'm not shitting on them for that at all. But what I'm seeing is a lack of respect for these victims' families. And it's for the purpose of pushing their YouTube channel. Like, I mean, it goes right out the window. Heroics go right out the window when you start twisting things in order to benefit yourself financially. It just goes right out the window for me. That's just my opinion. You are more than welcome to have your opinion and be like, I don't care about any of that. As long as they keep finding missing people. Cool. I don't even really blame you for feeling that way. Honestly, I don't. What I'm saying is my personal opinion. I can't get past that. And the reason why it bothers me is because they do this with a dangerous result. And that dangerous result, as I've said a million times, is that it stirs up speculation. And then when you start speculating and you get that seed planted in your head of foul play without enough evidence to dictate that foul play took place, then you start looking for people to point fingers at. And right now with the Kylie Rodney case, the people to point fingers at right now are, besides Ick and Mel, I'm kidding, dude. The people to point fingers at right now are Sammy and Jagger. Do I think that Sammy lies? Yeah. But that doesn't make her a killer. That doesn't make her a conspirator to kill anybody. It makes her an 18-year-old kid who likes a lot of attention. Until you have more evidence, because the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Some people might be going, well, she shouldn't have stuck herself in front of a camera. She doesn't want to get fingers pointed at her, blah, blah, blah. How's she supposed to know that? She's 18. She's a kid. She's a dumb kid. Because all kids that age are fucking dumb. Just because they do well in school, they don't know shit about life. They don't know anything about life. When I see people who are like, well, she told me she was 18. When I see those fucking predators go, oh, she told me she was 18. I don't want to hear that shit. You know why? Because when I look at an 18-year-old, I see the stupid in their eyes. I can see it. You know what I'm saying? They just got that look on their face. Like, And as soon as I see that, I don't care how big her titties are. I don't care how dirty her fucking vocabulary is. As soon as I see that shit, I'm like, nope. Go back home to your mother. What the hell are you doing? What is wrong with you? You have not seen shit in this world yet. You have not seen anything. And I see that in an 18-year-old. 18, 19, 20, 21, all too young for me. Way too young. Because they haven't lost that stupid look on their face. That means that that person has an entire future ahead of them. That person has an entire future. God knows. I mean, they have so much wiggle room to create life well for themselves. Why is it fair for us to just make the excuse? Well, you shouldn't have jumped in front of a camera and started talking. No, man. Like, that's still a kid, even though she's legally not. That's still a kid to where you have to be a fucking responsible adult and be like, man, what if that kid's innocent? That kid's got a bright future ahead of her. Why am I going to contribute to making life more difficult for her? Same thing with this Jagger kid, man. There's nothing to indicate that this kid had anything to do with God. In fact, there's stuff that I pointed out earlier in this stream that points to the opposite, to the contrary. It points to his innocence more than anything. But people just gotta have somebody to point a finger at. They don't give a shit how it affects them. They don't give a shit how it affects their loved ones. They gotta point a finger at somebody because it creates dramatics. You know? Now again, AWP never pointed fingers at anybody. But they did put stuff in this video that came off extremely biased, that spun a narrative that would point fingers. And these guys just keep sticking by it. They keep saying, well, we think foul play, foul play. They're not qualified to assess whether something was foul play or not. Like, let's explore real quick. I was on, I feel bad now because I don't remember her channel name. 3 letters. I don't remember, but I was on her panel yesterday. She was really nice too. I don't think that we agree, but she was really nice. And she was really nice to let me on her panel. And her panelists were, you know, because I get a little heated sometimes when I see just a pure lack of common sense in a statement. I'm just like, what? If I'm on a panel and I hear somebody say something, then I'm just like, I can't help but just be like, what? How did you get to that? No, not Zav. It wasn't Zav. No, it was somebody else. I can't remember her name. I feel bad. Real sweet girl too. She seemed like, but there was people on the panel. I remember the one dude's name. His name was Scott. He was a nice guy. And he made a good point as to why the vehicle, because everybody's looking at it like, how could she have gotten to the back of the car when the vehicle is upside down and on the bed of the lake? Nobody's asking how she could have got to the back of the SUV while it was submerged and sinking and getting to that point. Because think about it. If she jumped, because he said himself, the one guy from Adventures with Purpose said himself that he was telling the father that the vehicle oftentimes goes upside down because the tires make it buoyant. When a vehicle is sinking, the tires make it buoyant and it goes upside down. That makes perfect sense. Okay. But nobody's thinking about as the car is going down. If she went into the lake head first, it's going to be pointed downwards. And the force of the water is going to help her gravitate towards the back, right? Now, initially, while Nick was in the water, okay, he stated that the back window or the front passenger seat window was busted out. He said the front passenger seat was busted out. The back driver's side window was rolled down halfway. But he said busted out. And he did say appears to be. To be exact, he did say appears. It appears that way. Is it so hard to think that the car in mid sinking, right? During this, she's in a panic. She doesn't know what's going on, right? And she tries to kick the passenger seat window and breaks the window. But somehow the force is forcing her to go more towards, and she can't make it to the window because the water is gravitating her towards the back of the vehicle because this is the head first and the vehicle is up. So I could see that happening. Again, I'm not an expert, man. I don't know these things. It's just what I imagine. That seems like a possibility. I'd like to see that disproven, but that feels like a possibility to me. So the force of the water as the filling up the car and sinking, forcing her up towards the hatch of the vehicle. And I could see her thinking that also opening the hatch to get out would probably be a lot easier than squeezing through a window, whether it be the front window or whether it be even less, the back window that's halfway rolled down. Okay. So people acting like, oh my God, it's impossible, blah, blah, blah. We've already heard the guy that worked for Honda, that worked on CRVs forever as a supervisor. He knows the vehicle just has to be in gear. Doesn't matter. It just can't be in park for it to roll freely, right? So there's nothing that's definitively telling me. The only thing that looks suspicious is her being in the back seat. Now, what's his face? Jared from Adventures with Purpose called into 10 to Life's live stream earlier today. Now, he was asked if she was bound or if she was not clothed. He didn't answer whether or not she was bound. And all he said, and this is what bothered me, what really bothered me about his answer about whether or not she was closed, he just pointed out what was already said in the video. This is the spokesperson. This is the guy who runs the whole thing. This is the guy, right? But he says, well, I couldn't tell you because I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, all I know is this dude. Hey, watch what you say about 10 to Life. That's my friend. We may not agree on a lot of things, but that is my friend. Before I continue my point, Mara, BMW sequel admin, thank you so much. Agreed, they need to stop pushing narrative on lives too. Annie asked Doug on Popcorn's live if car was pushed or drove in. His answer gave pushed vibe, right? But he didn't give a straight answer. And see, everything has a vibe to it. Like everybody's saying, you know, that there's a vibe to these answers. And there's always a vibe leaning towards foul play. Why does that happen? What would be the motive for AWP to push foul play? Why? Because it makes their videos more dramatic, more attractive. It makes them more money, makes you guys biting your nails going, I need answers, I need answers. And so you buy the memberships. It's just a way to market themselves. It's the same shit that any reality TV show does. You notice that every time there's a reality TV show, they're like, oh my God, this is, if this person's foot doesn't get let go of this thing, he's going to die. And then they cut to commercial, right? And then they come back and then something happens and then everything's okay. Hey, all right. That's the whole point, is to make the show more entertaining. So if you're asking me what would be the motive for them to push a foul play narrative, it would be in order to sell their product, which is donations for their channel or whatever, which is fine. I mean, it costs money to do what they do. I'm just saying it's irresponsible in the sense that it causes people to start pointing fingers at potentially innocent people. And I have a problem with that. I have a serious problem with that. But yeah, that's why I don't watch reality TV, Crime Story Junkie. But I'm not gonna jump to that conclusion. I'm not gonna lean towards foul play when I don't have nearly enough to say. If I can think of a reason, I say this all the time on here, guys. If I can think of a devil's advocate type of situation that counters the popular theory, I'm dismissing that popular theory if it means pointing the finger at somebody until I have proof. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that anyway. When I look at crime cases, guys, I think of myself as a juror. Okay, what would I, as a juror, be doing? How would I be looking at this situation as a juror if somebody was on trial and I needed to prove it because their life is on the line? You know, pushing a foul play narrative, it benefits them. It benefits their channel. Mike M, I don't know why you were put on timeout. Sometimes that happens by accident. But yeah, I don't know why you were put on timeout. I apologize. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just not there, man. I'm not even close to there. Like this feels like an accident to me. The only thing is her being in the hatch. And there's all kinds of things, but every time this Jared guy, I mean, and that's another thing that bothers me is this Jared guy is saying, well, they told me that when he was on panel with Annie from 10 to Life, he was like, well, they told me, you know, that they saw a shoe, right? But if I'm the guy in charge of that and I'm running that shit, right? If I'm the guy in charge of that and I'm running that shit and something like that happens and my guys discover a body, dude, I want a full detailed report for legal purposes, mostly civil or criminal, whatever. Like whatever law enforcement can use, I want a detailed report from each one of my guys that was on that scene and what they saw. You're not that there's no way that I'm going to be like, I don't know. You got to ask one of them. If I'm in charge of those guys, are you serious? Like we're talking about literally life and death here. And you're not going to get a detailed report. You're going to be somebody who may have to testify in court. And you're not going to get a documented detailed report from the people on scene. That's exactly why law enforcement officers do that. I mean, only if there's an arrest. So Heels in my hair, she corrected me. She sent me an email because yesterday I said, well, she's a minor, so there's no way that we'll ever get those autopsy results. They'll never be public. That's actually not true in the state of California. They are made public unless the parent requests that they are sealed. I guarantee you, I have no reason to believe that this mother is not going to make sure that those are sealed. You don't think that she thinks that this whole thing is a massive circus already? You don't think this woman just wants to like get this over with and move on? If somebody's responsible, good. Catch them. Catch them. Build a case against them. Arrest them. Try them. Whatever. Sure. Of course, it's going to take longer for her to get closure, but she's going to want justice. But I guarantee you that she's hoping that it was simply an accident and she can just start moving on with her life and start to heal. And I love that shit in the crime community, dude. I love that shit. Everybody's always thoughts and prayers for the family, thoughts and prayers for the family. But everybody's fucking actions are totally contrary to what thoughts and prayers are designed to do for the victim's family. Like, it kills me, dude. Yeah, the tow driver is debunked, man, as far as I'm concerned. Thanks, Chronicles of the Shady. The tow driver, that's debunked. That means fuck all. Nothing. That anything that guy said. Nothing. It could. That's another good point, 80s baby. It could hurt the case if it is foul play. So let's just say that Jagger is guilty, right? Let's just say that. Let's just say Jagger did something to Kylie. Hypothetically speaking, I don't believe that he did, but hypothetically speaking, let's say that he did, right? And all of this speculation that just got stirred up and the finger pointing at this kid, you don't think that's going to spook them? Do you think that law enforcement is good? There's a reason why they keep their mouth shut. There's a reason why they keep things close to the vest, because they don't want, that's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons, because they don't want, if they have their eye on somebody and they're building a case against them and they're collecting evidence, they don't want to spook that person and make them harder to arrest when the time comes to catch them and arrest them. We don't want another Brian Laundrie situation happening here, folks. That's what we don't want. But it's so important, you know, that we get the finger pointing going on. I simply just think that these guys just peddle dramatics because it makes their product more entertaining at the cost of innocent people, at the expense of potentially innocent people. I agree. Doug from AWP stated it was to show where they started, and it might not have even been her he assisted. That wasn't mentioned in their video. Irresponsible. Yeah, that's totally irresponsible if that's the case. If he said that and they didn't mention that in the video, that's insanely irresponsible. And all it does is just make my point. That's all it does. It just makes my point that much more valid. And I don't like being right about shit like this. I honestly don't. Dude, I have pushed these guys more than once on past cases. I have been like, oh, wow, okay, Adventures with Purpose. And, you know, because they gave me a total Equisearch vibe, right? Equisearch, actually. They gave me an Equisearch vibe. But here's the difference. When do you ever see Tim Miller jumping on every YouTube panel that he can jump on? Every trash YouTuber? And that's not to imply that Annie's channel is trash. I'm saying the other channels that I saw him jump on. I mean, when do you ever see Tim Miller from Equisearch jumping on panels and pushing some sort of, you know, creating a channel where he, see, I can see you, Gray. I can see you even on YouTube. Awesome. AWP is great. Them speculating is outside their lane and will put them in a disfavorable light in the future, which is bad for victims. Absolutely. What's bad for them is bad for missing victims because they do great work. But really, like, pushing this stuff that they're doing, man, and just for the sake of what? Dramatics? That's ultimately going to make them look bad. And then what's going to happen is they're going to have a bad reputation and people aren't going to be able to depend on them to help them find their missing loved ones. Like I'm saying, dude, AWP, Jared, rip a page out of Equisearch's book and how they handle things. I guarantee you they're not missing out on hell shit. Look at Gray Hughes. Dude, Gray Hughes Investigates, in my opinion, is the most efficient and responsible true crime channel there is. Easily, without a doubt. And Gray Hughes collects and he raises so much money for DNA research, for Equisearch, for all of these organizations. Probably has raised a bunch of money for AWP. Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. but Gray Hughes Investigates. Yeah, Tim Miller's like my personal hero as far as crime goes. I love the way he handles himself, and I love the way he handles the public. I love the way he handles cases. He's all business, no show, all business. I love it. But I guarantee you that Gray, I mean, the things that he does for victims, you know, he might be a little rough around the edges. See, I can relate to that. I get a little heated and annoyed, and I don't mind expressing myself when that happens. But the things that Gray has done for victims can't be touched. Can't be touched. Freaks take care of me. I take a large portion of the income and send it to charity. I make money as well, but we should all give back too. Absolutely. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with making your money, man. Ain't nothing wrong with making your money. There's something wrong with people saying, hey, this is where your money's going, and then it doesn't go there. We know about all those other YouTubers that have been doing that, and we call those people out. We do. But yeah, man, you know, I mean, that's what we do. There's a reason why we monetize our channels. Absolutely. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to tell anybody not to make money. I'm asking those dudes to just like, all I'm doing is explaining what I'm criticizing AWP for and why. I'm not doing it just to do it. I'm not doing it just to pick on those guys. I'm doing it because there's two potentially innocent kids that have an entire mob with pitchforks after them right now because of a narrative that they spun. And I just don't agree with that. I think there's a really much more responsible way to handle things, you know? Nerdily, thank you so much. I know this will get spun by Chroma fans. It already is. It already is. Like, I hate, if you notice, like, I do everything I can to avoid using the term true crime. It's because of what true crime has become. Like, the drama channels have taken over what true crime is, and now it's just drama. It's just craziness. When Josh was covering the Gabby Petito case, Josh from Dad Challenge podcast, totally just Forrest Gumped it. And you know what I mean? Just like he had no idea how to cover a true crime case, but just used his common sense and his moral compass to explore all the facts. And next thing you know, he's featured on the Peacock documentary for Gabby Petito. He did a great job. And the funny thing is I try to use the term real crime instead of true crime because I don't want to be lumped up with the so-called true crime creators anymore, except for Gray. But I don't want to be lumped up with all the other ones that call themselves true crime. It's garbage. It's crap. And it's just turned it into a weird genre, like, you know what I mean? Like classic rock or something. It's really, really weird and strange. And like everyone seems to forget that these are real people that are being affected by this. Everyone seems to forget this. So, and Josh, when he was covering the Gabby Petito case, he accidentally, because of his naivety, he misspoke and called it real crime instead of calling it true crime. He's like, he's up there. He's like, I don't do real crime. I don't know how to do this, what I'm doing, blah, blah. And he was calling it real crime, you know? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick to that because you did such a good job and I'm going to just keep calling it real crime. And I've been slacking on that lately, but I'm with that, man. I'm absolutely with that. Because Josh is a good dude with a good heart. And I'm proud to call him a homie. But anyways, guys, I really appreciate everybody joining me. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get this word out there, man. Let's try to get people to try to just, all I'm trying to do is remind people it's okay to follow these cases. It's okay to be speculative, you know, as long as it's not victimizing anybody. You know, it's okay to be, it's okay to be fascinated by these cases. I am, you know, but I'm just trying to remind people that, like, just don't forget. And people are like, oh, of course I know that those are real people, but your actions are showing that you forget sometimes because you're not thinking about other people that it may be affecting, innocent people that are surround the subject, innocent people that are just kind of by parties of the subject, and you're not thinking of them. And those people deserve peace. You don't know the level of feelings that they might have had for this victim. You don't know anything. So until you have absolute solid proof and you are creating and spinning a narrative where fingers are being pointed at somebody who there's no evidence against, you are victimizing someone potentially. And I'm saying trash them all you want. If there's like tons of evidence, that are just like, I mean, you look at Letitia Stock, it's easy to be like, dude, like she should fry. You look at Letitia Stock and it's easy. You're like, dude, she should absolutely fry because we have so many facts on that case. We have so much evidence that dictates that this woman is absolutely guilty of murdering her 10-year-old stepson. We have so much. So to me, it's okay to be like, man, that lady sucks. I hope she burns. You know, you're entitled to those feelings. But until you have that kind of evidence, man, you know what I mean? Like these are innocent people. They just are. They're just innocent people, man. So you know, I thought the same thing about myself. Like I could do that. It's so easy to do what these fuckers are doing. But let me read your comment out loud. Trust me when I tell you, if I had no moral standards, I could own any of these popular cases, but I can't do it. I have to look at myself in a mirror, right, man? And that's why I love your channel, dude. I love that. And Gray does well. Gray's got over 70,000 subscribers. I was in his chat last night for a minute and I just saw super chat. You know, like you're going to do okay without having to be a piece of shit. I promise. All you got to do is look at Gray. Now, Gray can be kind of a dick sometimes. So can I. I get it. But that's just me showing you respect. I can't speak for Gray, but I speak for myself. Me showing you respect is being direct at you. Not going to some other behind the scenes channel and being like, oh, that Gray Hughes, fuck that guy. Hey, Gray, welcome, buddy. No, that's not me. Like, if I don't like you, I'm going to tell you. And I'd rather have somebody like Gray who's going to be like, listen, dude, I think you're a shit. You know, I'd rather have somebody in my life like that rather than sit there and wonder what they're saying behind my back. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing you a solid by being a dick when I'm being a dick. Because I promise you, I'm not calling you out on something that you don't deserve to be called out on. And if I do, I will absolutely apologize. Anyways, guys, I love you guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, hit that like. If you're not subscribed already, please do. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.